everyone, and welcome back to A Purposeful Pursuit. I'm Crystal and I'm excited because you guys, today I'm going to be doing a little bit of answering some questions. So one of you amazing subscribers asked me in a video that I did concerning your hovering season, Crystal, what were some of the things that you encountered just before you met your spouse? And so I was like, okay, I can answer that for you. So let's go ahead, let's jump into today's video. I have my phone because I don't want to miss any of the questions that were asked. And so I talked about step 4 in the hovering season, and step 4 is when God shows you who your spouse is. And so if you haven't seen the video I did concerning the hovering season as it pertains to meeting your spouse, and are you in the hovering season right now, make sure you go and check that video out after this one to give you some context. But what I said again for number 4 in the hovering season is when God shows you who your spouse is. So they're asking, what did you experience before step 4, before God showed you who your spouse was? So one of the things that I experienced was growth. Personal growth, especially in the area as it pertained to my purpose. I went through a season where I was able to understand how to live out my purpose in so many various ways, in so many various seasons, in so many various locations. Those of you that know my story know I moved around and different stuff like that. So God really showed me how to live out my purpose in different jobs. No matter how my purpose was beyond a particular occupation, but was really a reflective of gifts and talents that He put inside of me. And this is extremely important because when you are married, you can go through so many different seasons. You can go through a location change, which my husband and I have moved to a different state from where we originally got married. You can go through occupational changes, which my husband and I have both experienced occupational changes while we've been married. But one thing that I can say is because God already prepared me in being able to live out my purpose and my calling in various seasons before I got married, I did not feel like I was losing myself in my marriage. And that's really important because, okay, you get married, you have kids, all this stuff, you start to grow in different ways and evolve and change and mature, and there is a giving of yourself over to that married life that you've committed to, and it's amazing. It's honestly, you gain so much more than you give in the marriage. That's how it should be. And there's nothing I've given up of myself in my marriage that I have not gained tenfold something better. So it's it reminds me of that meme where somebody's holding on to a teddy bear and they're clutching it so tightly, and God is give me the bear. And what they don't see is God has this huge bear that's behind his back that's bigger and better than the teddy bear they have to hand over. That's what it's honestly like in a marriage. If it's a good, healthy marriage, anything that your spouse may need of you, or anything that God may be calling your spouse to request of you, it's gonna be a better exchange. So yeah, but getting back on track, that was one thing that definitely helped me. I did not feel like I was losing myself, my identity and who I was, because I already knew how to live out my identity and my God-given purpose in so many ways. So that's major key. Number 2, I grew in confidence. I saw myself as someone worth having, and this definitely may not be a thing for everyone, but I know for me, just because of the past that I had, the dating past that I had, there are a lot of broken things that occurred and just really made me feel less than. It made me feel not as beautiful. It made me feel not as worthy of love. And some of that even came from just outside voices, people saying, because I wasn't a virgin anymore, I didn't deserve God's best, all this other kind of stuff. God really had to wash all of that stuff out. He had to remind me, I don't care where you've been, what you've done, what you've been through, you still deserve my very best. My hand is still on your life. I still want you to have an absolutely amazing husband, and you are going to live the life of your dreams with him. You are not going to miss out on a drop of my goodness. Like, God had to remind me of that, especially, like I said, because people, whether it was people I dated or other people in general, just tried to make me feel like that was not going to be the case. And no, we serve a good Father. And so, like I said, when I talk about building your confidence, I'm talking about God just reinstilling in me my value, my worth, and my deserving of being loved well by a husband, by a mate. And so, you know, that was one thing that was big. And like I said, just getting that down in me, it caused me to walk differently. It caused me to talk differently. And honestly, one of the biggest things that it did is it caused me to not be open to wasting my time. It gave me the confidence I needed for when I did meet my husband, Ricky, to tell him, I'm not looking for just dating around. I'm looking to get married. That is what I want. And having that confidence inside of me and knowing that I deserve to be able to have a spouse that loved me well gave me the confidence that I needed to be able to just say that, articulate that boldly, okay? Boldly. I was able to say what I said. I said what I said. So yes, that was huge. Another question, were there counterfeits that showed up just before God showed you who the one was? Yes, 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 yes. And so counterfeits can come in a lot of different ways. So counterfeits that I experienced. One, people that were saying God told them that I was supposed to marry them. No, if God didn't tell me that, until you confirm it with me, I'm not listening to what you said. Also, if you're not what I wanted, God did not tell you that, because God's not going to make me marry somebody that's not what I want. So yeah, so counterfeit showed up in the way of people trying to tell me or convince me that, you know, they were the person that I was supposed to be with. No. So that was one. Another counterfeit, and this is a big, y'all, flash from the past. So people that I dated just prior to meeting my husband, y'all that know my story know I've already told you this. Like, they tried to just come back into my life, not even in a official, like, I want to be with you type of way, but just come bring their presence back around after I had already moved on from that. And so the short story is basically a person that I dated, they reached out to me just after I met Ricky, and they were like, hey, you know, I miss you so much. Like, I care about you so much. You're what I want. Like, just saying all the things that I would have wished this person would have said when I was actually trying to be with them. But I had to recognize this is not God. And literally, I told him I was nice about it, but I told him, I was like, listen, I don't know what you're looking for, but I know that I am not it. I found what I am looking for, and I hope you find the same one day. I wish you the best. Like, and that was the end of that. But I knew in myself that was not the person for me. I knew Ricky was the one for me. And so at that point in time, I had already met Ricky, and so that's one of the ways that I knew this other guy was not the person for me. But one of the ways that you can know, even if you haven't specifically been shown the person yet, if somebody from your past is not the one for you, one of the ways, they're in your past, and honey, they're there for a reason. Like, and I would say, especially too, if you haven't seen or noticed any changes in their lifestyle and who they are and the way they communicate with you and the way that they treat you, like, they're just there. They're just back again for try to, you know, be around again for no reason. Like, don't go back to people that have not shown you that they have changed. And I would say shown you they have changed into a specific word from God. Because if not, they're just going to be there to waste your time again. And that's not what you want. So the counterfeit that you can definitely encounter is a blast from the past. And like I said, without a specific, very, very clear word from God and confirmation and clear visual representation of how they have changed, both of those things, not one or the other, both of those things, that is a counterfeit. Don't even go back to it. Do not even waste your time. So yes, counterfeits did try to show up in my life, but again, that was easy. I needed a word from God on all things. Husband, I needed a word from God. And then lastly, they asked me, did I dream about my husband? I know a lot of people say they have dreams about their husband. They see their husband and all this stuff. I did not dream one dream about Ricky. I did not. I didn't see his face. I didn't hear his name. None of that. Like, I did not dream about my husband. Now, ironically, I dream about other people's engagements. And I feel like I mentioned this one time before, which I do not choose whose engagements I dream of. Like, I literally will just see people and I see their proposal. Like, in a dream, like, I'll just see it. It's been people that I've been close to. It's been people that I've been not super close to, that I was a friend of a friend. Like, people that I've just encountered. Like, I don't know why this is, but God, I don't know, he just does it. So I've dreamed of other people's engagements, like I said, their proposals. I did not have one dream, not one, about Ricky. And honestly, I thank God for that, because I know some people be like, oh, I want to dream my husband, or oh, I dream my husband. I feel like for me, that would have been really limiting. I know some people feel excited because it's like, oh, I know exactly what it's going to look like and exactly where it's going to be and his name and everything like that. I feel like that would have been really limiting for me and kind of discouraging. Like, the more I went on and didn't see this person, like, but then maybe I'm meeting really nice guys and they seem really friendly and they seem like they could be the person for me, but I'm like, oh, but they don't look like this. He had gray eyes and this guy has blue eyes, like, it can't be him. Like, that would have stressed me out. So honestly, I didn't dream about him, and I'm glad I didn't dream about him. And for your sake, I hope you don't have to have a dream about your husband either, because again, that could be really limiting. And also, I personally believe that God gives us an option of people that could be the person that we marry. And I feel like that's how it works out. I don't think there's just one person on the planet for everybody. And one of the reasons for that is, if there was only one person on the planet for every person, all it takes is one person messing that up to mess it up for everybody. If you were supposed to marry this person, and this person marries this person and said, for whatever reason, maybe they're not listening to God or whatever, now you're just supposed to be single forever because they married the wrong person? No, God's not going to make you be single forever because of somebody else's choices. He's going to bring somebody else. He's going to allow there to be another person so that desire could be fulfilled. So that is my soapbox on that. But, you know, so like I said, like, if you have had a dream about what your husband looks like or your wife looks like, you know, whatever, all this stuff, where they're at, all of that, like, and you believe, like, in your heart this was really a dream from God, like, I'm not saying throw that away. You can keep that. You can keep that and you can hide that in your heart. But I would say hide that in your heart as an option. Like, hide that in your heart as God saying, this is one of the potential people that it could be. Because like I said, I just truly believe that God is such a good and gracious God. He knows how we operate here in humanity, that people don't always do the right thing. Like, you've never done the right thing your whole life. So there's going to be somebody else that could be an option. And, you know, then maybe you won't be having to wait so long because you're not looking for this one specific person on the planet that you're thinking, I got to get to this place, to this person. Like, it's a lot, okay? But again, going back to it, no, I never dreamed of Ricky. Like, I didn't have any dreams about him or anything like that. But yes, so I wanted to make sure I answered those questions. And yeah, so for those of you who do not know, my husband and I met, got engaged, and married all in 9 months. God brought us together. That is our testimony. And we want to help you here on a purposeful pursuit. Make your pursuit to meeting the one God has for you purposeful. And so if you like to get Christian dating advice on how to make your pursuit purposeful, so you don't have to deal with all the foolishness of dating, that drug out time, all of that, we're trying to cut all of that out because we don't think it has to be all of that. I say we because a lot of times my husband joins me here on the channel and I love it when he does. And so yeah, so if you want to get those types of tips and things, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And I also do a lot of devotionals here on the channel that are geared as well towards you growing spiritually to navigate to that time of meeting your spouse. So I love doing that. I'm on a whole faith journey here. It's all really exciting, and I would love if you join the channel. So yeah, like I said, subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below. It helps me out a ton when you guys comment on the videos and when you like the videos. So yes, I think that's all I have to say for now. And so yeah, until next time.